think my socks are going to give away whether I'm, to Keith's question this morning, whether you're a believer or not. Those are Bitcoin
Those are Bitcoin socks?
Yeah.
We're selling them in the lobby for cash. Oh, you got that.
You could pay in Bitcoin, though.
You could pay in Bitcoin. So I've met your co-founders. Very much like I'm sure people who met me, I'm an entrepreneur, when I founded Operation Hope or whatever my enterprise is, people thought that I was nuts. I also thought they were a little off, in the sense that they were just so passionate and off, but really smart. Off, but a dash of genius. But outliers and disruptors. And what I had to figure out was, were they positive disruptors or were they negative disruptors? And if you're a negative disruptor, I don't want to have anything to do with you, because that means you're about me and not about we. It's about what you have to get, not what you have to give, and so on and so forth. And your general counsel, I know, good man.
Dan, yep.
Dan. And Mary Elizabeth is here, a sister who you guys have brought on, who's helping you with public policy.
She's right out there.
Yeah, she's one of a few people who stood up to a president I won't mention and walked out of the State Department because it was against her values. We won't mention the president, but he's not in office at the moment. You'll get that later. And you got it. And so there were people I respected, and then I got to know your co-founders, and I decided they were positive disruptors. Even though me and one of them argued for 2 hours over dinner about the efficacy of financial literacy, they still did it. What I said was, if you had to do Robinhood all over again, I would have hoped you would have embedded financial literacy into the model. And we had this debate back and forth. I absolutely think you should have. I'm not asking you today, by the way, to answer that. But this is the protection versus prosperity conversation that we actually started 3 years ago with me and your folks, that we're actually having in real time now about a completely different but related topic. So in some ways, you guys got a head start on everybody else. You got beat up early. Mm-hmm. I'll say it, you probably won't. You guys made mistakes, you're not perfect. You've obviously done a lot of stuff right. The market responded by a bunch of young people adopting your platform and following your lead. What have you learned? What would you do differently if you had to do it all over again? Where are you at now? Where are you going as it relates to specifically cryptocurrency and digital assets? And let me say, before he says anything else, and I'm gonna let him go we have 17 minutes of session. I'm gonna let him go for as much as he wants to, because I think this is a really important conversation with a company that's in the fire of this in the traditional markets as well. With all this conversation, and Mary Elizabeth will know it wasn't always nice. We went back and forth, and I was unhappy several times with the progress. But we finally got to you guys signing an investor bill of rights.
First signatory.
First signatory ever of a Wall Street firm. Yes, please. Yeah, no, they deserve credit. Put it up on your phone. Everything we do is transparent, folks. Put it up on your phone. Don't trust me? Type in Operation Hope, Robinhood, Investor Bill of Rights, read the document that they signed, and you tell me whether you thought it was important for where we are now, where we're going. I'd like to think that—
I'm going to give him a lot of credit, because those two founders are very bright people, and they are, they can be hard to persuade.
They're hard.
So you must be very, very, very persuasive.
Well, I mean, look,
it's the right thing. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, yeah.
I think the facts persuaded them. I don't want nobody, don't want me.
Yep.
I'm not begging anybody for anything. Before you leave, I'll walk out if I don't think it's an authentic conversation. we stayed engaged because I respected them, they respected me. They talked, I listened, and when I talked, I began to believe they listened. Otherwise, again, I would have bounced. But once we got to 51% of me believing there's a majority of goodwill here, then I said, okay, we got a real conversation. But you guys signed an investor bill of rights a year ago, almost, when this was not a vote. What I'd like to see come out of today, by the way, please, every major investor in Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, digital asset, please, you're watching this from all around the world. I know you're watching. We know you're watching. You should want to sign the investor bill of rights. You don't have regulation now. You don't have the government telling you what to do. You should want to self-police. Is that a good idea? Let's talk about where'd you come from? What lessons did you learn? What are you proud of? I know there's a lot of that. Where are you at now? Where you think we should be going, the industry should be going, et cetera?
So, I came from a very small town in Wisconsin.
Well, I didn't mean you personally, but
I know. I'm just kidding.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, I am interested in personal.
Yeah. I came from a very small town in Wisconsin and ended up in Chicago in the world of trading. And I spent about 20 years on the other side of trading. And I moved into retail. And the first thing I did when I got to a retail firm, I worked for larger retail firms, Schwab, TD Ameritrade, was I educated people. I educated people on investing and trading. I used to educate people in this very room. As a matter of fact, it brought back memories. I have a strong passion for that.
Literally in this very room, you talking about?
Literally in this very room.
Okay, all right.
So I had the same conversation. I've only been at Robinhood for 6 months, but I had the identical conversation with Vlad and Beju that you had. I said,
that's the founders of.
Yes, you have to understand the importance. Now, here's what I would say. They are so extremely bright and competent that sometimes they don't make the connection that not everybody else is going to grasp things.
It was a 2-hour math conversation.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to grasp things in the manner they are. But if you look at the customer base, and again, I came from Schwab and TD Ameritrade, those are 50-some-year-old people who have a lot of wealth and they've been in the market a long time. Customers at Robinhood are 31 years old. 50% of them are brand new to investing. They're very diverse, they're very young, they're very passionate, but they need education. And they need education in a different manner than, they like to be educated in a very different manner than people who are of my generation. They want it consumable when they want to consume it in an on-demand manner. They want it in the pathway of the trading application or investing application. We embed, it's part of the Bill of Rights. We embed little tests in there just so that they can validate that they're understanding what they're learning. It's really important, particularly in this space, because it's new.
So I want to back up again.
Yeah.
So if I'm hearing you properly, as a result of you signing the Investor Bill of Rights,
yes,
you've actually now made the commitment to embed financial education into.
Oh, it's in the pathway. It's in the pathway.
It's in the app.
So there's Robinhood Learn, which is hundreds and hundreds of videos. But within the pathway, there's education, and there's more coming. We're mid-journey.
So let me be clear.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in some website that only smart people go to and people who are bored or whatever. I'm talking about something like right in the business lane.
In the path, yeah.
In the path.
Yeah.
So in the path of consumers, of investor decisions, you're embedding financial literacy.
Yeah.
Good.
The difficult part about that is, think about it, it's a mobile app. So you can't make it too heavy. It's snippets, and that's what they want to consume anyway.
Yeah.
But if they want more, they just click, and it takes them somewhere else where they can go into more depth there. So I think it's really powerful and it's really important, but it's really important in the digital asset space because as it's been discussed all morning, it's moving very quickly. And so it's really important that there's good education. The good news is, if you stick to the principles of what you educate in other asset classes on, for example, diversification, nobody should have all of their assets in this asset class. and we don't see
Say that again, please.
diversification.
No, the
Nobody should have all these assets in this asset class or in any asset class, right? Diversification is so important, so important. So you talked about something else this morning, which I thought was so important. There are 3 E's we talk about at Robinhood that really are the pathway for getting many more participants in the marketplace. One is economic. So, okay, am I going to make it something that's feasible? Do I have to have an account minimum, which is going to keep a lot of people out? Do I have a commission structure, which is going to make it untenable for people to invest and do it in a successful manner? Check.
Okay.
There are no commissions. There are no minimums. The other is education, what we've been talking about. And we're on a path. We're not there yet, but we're working on it.
And by the way, there are no commissions, but be clear, they get paid.
We do. Yes.
They get paid because the folks who are doing the trading on the back end, they compensate them for the trades. It should be transparent to you. I'm telling you right now, that's the way it's done. I think it's pretty harmless based on what I've seen. Just be clear, they are,
We are transparent about that. I explained it to I have 3 daughters that are in their early 20s, and I'm that annoying dad, that explains to them the importance of making their money work for them when they're first getting their first job. So they get their brokerage account and they hear this, what's this, payment for order flow, order routing revenue? Right. I said, look, this is the easiest way I can explain it. You used to pay a commission of $10 to trade a stock.
Right.
There's a value of you coming into the marketplace. The industry benefits from it.
Yep.
Now the industry is paying us that $10
Yep.
commission. So we can provide all these things to you. Again, it's far more nuanced than that.
So basically, versus payment for commission, it's payment for delivering a customer.
Exactly. That's what it is.
All right.
And we're the ones attracting
Is that clear?
customers. Yeah.
All right.
Like, again, it's far deeper than that. It's very nuanced, but that's really the simplest version. So to get back to my 3 E's, because I'll use my daughters as an example. They open a brokerage account, they're doing their investing, dad's a hero, the market's going up, right? Mm-hmm. We all know what happens then, right? All of a sudden the market's going down and, Dad, what's going on? You're an idiot, I'm losing money, I should have kept it in the bank, etc. So the 30 steps in, emotion.
Yeah. What was the
Emotion's easier to tame
What
when
was the second E?
The second E was education, what we've been working on.
Gotcha.
The 30 is emotion. And when you're young, you're emotional, especially when this is new. This is all brand new to people. A lot of customers have not seen markets like they're performing the way they are today. So this is new to them.
So this generation has only seen
They have.
this. You follow me? They have no idea what an out downturn looks like. Go ahead.
And they don't know how to navigate it. They're struggling to navigate it. And I'm not just speaking about my daughters, I'm speaking about our customers as well. So I tell my daughters, if you're not comfortable with something, then you shouldn't, don't continue to invest. But I'm going to tell you some facts, right? We just sent these facts out to our customers yesterday. For the last 20 years, and they're young, right? So they're going to have a long investing journey. The S&P has averaged over 9% return. If you jumped in and out and missed 10 days in the last 20 years, the 10 best days, that returns 4%. If you missed 30 days, the best 30 days, that return is 0. So I just told them that because I said, look, at your age, I can't use the word guarantee in financial services. It's been washed out of my brain, but I guarantee you girls, in 20 years, you're going to be like, thanks, Dad, right? And so what they do is a dollar cost average. Every month, they pick an amount, and it automatically goes into a broad-based ETF and then a couple stocks that they like.
Explain what an ETF is.
So exchange-traded fund is a broad, diversified, it's like the SPY is 500 stocks. And the reason why that's a good investment...
Basket.
Yeah, it's a basket. So you don't have this, if one company has an issue, it's going to wipe out, your portfolio. And as a result of that, it actually lets them remove the emotion. I don't get yelled at as often when it's automated. And so that's beneficial.
So I'm going to translate what he said into my own life.
Yeah.
This is one of the problems with Wall Street is they really, it's another language. And nobody wants to acknowledge that, like, nobody knows what the Wall Street Journal is saying. Like, what is all this mumbo jumbo and these, and people are intimidated and they're ashamed to admit they don't get it, and you're 50 years old, you're educated, but you don't have one clue what these folks are saying, and so you just say, enough, I don't want to deal with any of it. So let me try to break this down into, because no one's taught us, we're not dumb, no one's taught us this. If you want to get into stocks, this is away from crypto for a second. You want to get into stocks, you want to try your first step, buy what you like, buy what you use. Go around your house and look, what kind of shoes do you wear? What's the brand? Where do you shop? Where do you get some food at? Find you like, find what your friends like, buy that. You can't buy a full share of it, do fractional share investment. You guys do fractional share? Means if you have $25 to invest, then you can get a fraction of whatever it is you want. And buy, hold, forget. Buy, hold, forget. Buy it and forget about it. Do not keep trying to trade it. If you're not a day trader, then don't get in that business because you're going to miss out on what he just said. That if you got the money in, you got your money out. If it's a flaky stock, get out of it. Don't get into it in the first place unless you call it truly speculative. Some of what we're talking about today is some of this stuff is stable somewhat. Some of this stuff on crypto and digital is extremely flaky. Unless you want to go gamble in Las Vegas, you could lose it all, earn it all. Then find something you think is stable, you believe in it, buy it and hold it. It may go down, it may go up, but over the long term, you'll probably do okay. So if you want to not miss the market, find something you believe in, buy it and hold it over the long term. After every dip in the last 30 to 40 years, when the market recovered, it recovered in a substantial way, and you don't want to miss out on that. Minorities tend to buy when it's high, and guess what? Sell when it's low. Oh my God, it went down. Sell it, right? And that's the exact time you don't want to sell, by the way, because the market has done this the history. Done this, it's corrected, and then it's corrected back above the line every time. That's real estate, that's the stock market. So you buy, hold, and forget. Go, continue.
Yeah. And to tie this into the digital asset space, now of these 23 million Robinhood clients, in the last quarter, 60% of those clients also traded in the cryptocurrency space. And we're 60. And we're not, we are not a crypto-only native firm. We're a brokerage firm that started offering crypto because our customers wanted it in 2018. We're small. We have 11 coins, as you said earlier. That covers the majority of all the trading. And our most frequent reoccurring investment, so in other words, every month, every week, every year, I put a certain amount of money in the market, is Bitcoin. So they take a small percentage of their portfolio and they say, I'm a believer in this space and I'm going to invest in it. And they'll invest in it even in crypto winter, which is what we're in the middle of right now, because I think that they have the confidence that in the long run, this is going to be something that's really going to do well. So, and I thought there were excellent points made up here about, the differing views there. You can see it. I can see it in the customer base at Robinhood. Let's call it a third of them are passionate and they are true believers. A third of them are crypto curious. They don't really know that much about it, but they sort of want to dip their toe in. And a third of them don't want to touch it. And that's okay. Whatever they're comfortable doing, whatever you're comfortable doing from an investment standpoint, as soon as you get to a point where you put an investment on in any asset class and the hair on the back of your neck stands up, get out. Mm-hmm. You don't belong in that investment because you're going to make a really bad decision when it gets rocky. You should feel comfortable with whatever investment you make. You should feel comfortable that you can withstand a little volatility in.
And if somebody tells you it's a can't lose situation, it's guaranteed, that's another reason to get out or not get in the first place.
We
have a minute.
Yeah.
I wasted a lot of time trying to unpack some of this complicated stuff. Hit people real hard in the next minute. What makes you proud? What makes you afraid? What do you want the people to leave remembering?
What makes me proud is that we as a firm, Robinhood, we've opened the doors for a lot. I was a competitor of Robinhood, and I was amazed at how well they did in attracting a young, diverse crowd. That's my entire career. All I've wanted is more households to participate in the market because I've seen what it can do. And in the last couple of years, those doors have been open, and it's amazing, and that's fabulous. But that's only the first part of it. The second part is you have to grow with them and make sure they do it in a responsible manner so that they actually have the successes. That's the path forward. What I would leave you with...
What makes you afraid?
Well, what makes me afraid? Well, what we've seen over the last couple weeks. I really get nervous when you see things blow up and there's contagion because, not everybody listens to diversification, and there are people that do get burned, and that always scares me because what happens, it's not just 2007, 8, 9, it's not just the parents who unfortunately may have lost a lot of wealth, it's the kids sitting at the dinner table who hear it, and then they don't get into the market, and as a result, they don't get to experience the gains. And so that always frightens me, and it makes me realize the importance of financial literacy is critical.
So the contagion, the jumping on this bandwagon of hype alone scares the bejeebers out of you.
And the whole get rich thing. I wish it would
What
go
is it?
away. The get rich thing.
Right.
I wish it would
Get
go
rich
away.
quick.
Yeah, I just wish it would go away.
Yep.
Yep.
You heard it. Robinhood said it. The get rich quick thing, they wish it would go away. Now, this is Robinhood. I mean, this is an edgy, right on the cutting edge, brokerage firm saying to you, that's even too much for them. What do you want to leave them with?
I'd like to leave you with financial literacy. It's the most important aspect of anything you can do. I'd also like to say thank you for letting us continue to be on this journey.
Well, we're honored. When we first started this thing, I said we can't partner with you because we don't know, we're not sure where you're going and all that stuff. But let's do this Bill of Rights. If you succeed, we'll applaud you. If you fail, we'll say you're a schmuck. So far, I must say, we commend you.
That's so nice.
All right, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
God
Thank
bless you.